but I see your weight, and I've got your back. Talk to me, I'm that Gen X friend. No judgment here, just truth and a Walkman blend. We screamed at the world, no one replied, but we danced through it all, yeah, we survived.
Good morning. Welcome back to that Gen X Friend podcast. And before I begin, I want to give a shout out to MB Radio. As always, I will never forget what this platform has done for me, because it's helped me get through a lot of things. And just to let you know, I'm very, very grateful, and I will never forget that. So let's get to it. I think it's working, that transition, isn't it? So I wanted to talk about something today that I guess Gen X sort of always had to deal with. We always had this existential crisis or whatever. At least that's what it felt like to me as a Gen X person. And also, I don't know if anybody is like a Broadway play kind of person. I love Les Mis, okay? And for those who do not like Broadway shows, that's okay. But the song popped into my head a couple days ago. It's Jean Valjean singing "One Day More," and I love it. And it's the music is beautiful. Don't make fun of me, guys. Okay, I am not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of liking these Broadway plays, musicals. That is. And he was so passionate. One day more. And for some reason, I guess, I don't know. As I get older, I may listen to the same songs and hear the same sort of things being spoken, but things hit me differently and just hit me differently. And also, as I get older, especially as I look in the mirror, obviously, I'm getting older, as we all are. It's natural progression of, it's nature. Can't do nothing about it. And not to go into everything or whatever, I have depression. I'm sure most of the people know what that feels like. I'm depressed a lot. And I'm always like, oh, God, just one more day. How many more days? And this One Day More song, and just me constantly thinking, how many more days? As I look in the mirror, obviously time is passing. I can tell physically, although for military or veterans, we feel a lot older than we really are, because our bodies are falling apart apparently faster than maybe our peers who were not in the military for various reasons. So I'm like, is it really one more day? Or is it one less day? Right? That's why the title of today's podcast is "One More Day is Actually One Day Less." Right? Not to sound all depressed or whatever. Depressed people often have the best senses of humor, and I'm not, I'm not saying I have the best sense of humor, but I have a great sense of humor. You'll have to catch me like somewhere out in nature, like out in the wild, because like I said, I usually I have my humor here, but it's not quite as I don't know, free range, free range chicken, running around crazy, whatever, as they would be. if you met me out in the wild, which most of you probably wouldn't. Anyways, I digress. So, and as the title says, sometimes, especially for those who have lived lives that may not have been so happy, right? I'm not saying there are some people who've had really beautiful lives, right? That most people would be envious of. Like, wow. Not that they didn't go through stuff, right? Because each life has their own set of misery. And everybody's different. And depending on how we handle it, that's also different, blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying, like, there are truly some people who live lives that just seem so blessed, and they understand, they feel blessed. They're like, I love my life. I've dealt with things, but man, life is good. And that's awesome. I don't know what that feels like. And so to say, most of my life I've spent my days like, my God, I don't think I can take another day. How many more days? How many more days? Especially when I was young. I think most people can understand, especially Gen X, where we didn't have the video games, or we had Atari, but not quite as all-encompassing as the video games we have going on today, the young kids have. We spent our summers outside. We did things, but I do remember my peers, my friends, like, oh my God, the summer seems to go on forever. Even though we were out, we were wild. We were free range. Literally, we were free ranging, doing whatever the heck we wanted until the street lights came on. But the summers lasted forever. I even remember the stupid yearbook things. May your summer days never run out. Something like toilet paper or whatever. I can't remember. I always thought it was like, why are we mentioning toilet paper? Does toilet paper go on forever? Anyways, so yeah, like, and also in both boot camps that I went to, the days, the minutes, the seconds lasted a lifetime to me, right? It wasn't like summers. It seems like time slowed down to a crawl. It's like, oh my God. Especially in Marine Corps boot camp. Army boot camp, not so much, because I had a different, I was trying to get away from a certain situation. So I was relieved to be in Army boot camp. So it was sort of like a reprieve, let's just say. But Marine Corps boot camp was like the countdowns, chow to chow, Sunday to Sunday. And sometimes it was like minute to minute. You're like, dude, I cannot put my left sock on another time. If somebody else messes up, I'm going to freak out, kind of thing. Like, dude, can we stop? So boot camp or whatever we're waiting on. I remember when I was pregnant, and dude, it was not 9 months. It felt like forever. Like, I was forever getting bigger. I was never going to see my feet ever again. And I was going to, that's what it felt like. I was going to forever, ever lose the, my ability to ever sleep without the baby kicking me. Stuff like that, like counting down, like until it's over. And until it's over, how many more days? How many more days? And I spend most of my days, from the things I went through, I had to truly endure, always counting how many more days when I was younger, right? And obviously I'm older now. You can tell by the hair, although I've gone gray since I was younger. But I am older. It's very apparent in the mirror. Whatever. And I still find myself doing the same thing. But it hits differently now. because is it one more day that I have to count down, to endure? And now I worry about, when I talk to my son, like, oh, when I'm gone, right? So now it's becoming more of a topic. So even though every day I spend counting, oh my God, how many more days? How many more days do I have to do this or that, the other? It all of a sudden hit me from that song, from the things that I think about, because I'm neurotic. I think about these things. I think about these things, guys. Um, I'm like, wait, hold on. Most of my life, let's just say a large majority, because let's just go by statistics, right? I think the last time I read, like the average lifespan is somewhere in the mid 70s for men and like late 70s for women. So if you want to say roughly speaking, I've spent at least 1/3 or 2/3 of my life already. They're gone. Every time I said how many more days, all this stuff, I've spent most of my life counting down how many more days I have to do this, that, or other, waiting for something to come along, waiting for something to pass, always in that mode of, oh God, how many more? Instead of realizing that me personally, everybody, right? Everybody who's alive, our lives are finite. There's no infinity days, right? We're not those superheroes who can live forever or whatever, who have regenerative skills like Wolverine, if you're into that stuff. Like, we don't have it. I mean, a lot of people try to, well, spend money trying to look like it or pretend or chasing this thing that we cannot chase. When we chase, that means it's running away from us. And with life, each day we live, from day one is one day less, depending on your lifespan and how long you live. Many people live to, well, not many, but there are people who live to over 100, whatever. It doesn't matter what your lifespan is that truly it's finite. We have our days, our number. We just don't know what they are, and thank God, because we'd probably all be neurotic, right? But I think, especially when I describe people like me, perhaps, who have not had the happiest of lives, or life, not lives, or happiest of times in my life, and I've had to deal with all kinds of crazy, that it seems like even though I looked at it from a negative, like, how many more days do I have to deal with this, endure this, go through this, wait for that, wait for this? I didn't actually realize the value, the pricelessness of each day, whether it's spent enduring something like horrible, miserable, or spent doing something I loved. It wasn't all miserable. Like, there are days I remember that when my son was young, and and sort of, they were magical to me too. Like holding his tiny little hands, fat hands. I can't get over it. Like, they're fleeting, and moments I helped my fur babies, when they were puppies or whatever, or when I listened to songs I love, and I spent all day listening to Broadway music, or classic rock or country or whatever, any of those things. I never recognized the pricelessness of it, because time is really the only asset. I don't know if it's called an asset, because we all have time. The only thing we actually have that once it's spent, you can never get it back. We cannot turn back time. Now, if somebody out there can do this, you let me know, and help me out, man, because I would like to go back and redo some things, right? And perhaps send this message back to my younger self, like, listen here, young lady. Maybe not in that voice, because I would have been like, whatever, when I was younger. But, if I've learned this lesson sooner, I would have cherished each day, even during times of misery, strife, or whatever, right? And to have realized that it's not one more day, it is actually one day less that I have. And I say this because although I do remember, I just listed, a whole bunch of things that I do remember bringing me joy. Those were fleeting moments for me. And I don't recall really being thankful, like feeling this blessing to have this time to live this human existence, and to, I don't know, to taste life's sweet, sour, savory, all this stuff, all the flavors of life, which I can say that I've tasted a wide variety of those flavors, mostly bitter and very medicine-y, horrible. But nonetheless, I have experiences. And the lessons I could have learned from cherishing those moments. And not being stuck in the, oh my God, this countdown that I have done in my life. How many more days? One more day, one day more. Oh my goodness. I lived in this sort of not negative, endurance mindset, but not like motivating endurance, because, I keep bringing up this dude because I have both of his books, because they help me through some hard times. David Goggins, right? How he does these ultra marathons and endurance, and like how he would run with altitude sickness or whatever. Dude, that guy is enduring. What? And on top of that, all his childhood, right? And I can relate to it because let's just say I can relate to stuff like that. But he found this ability to, when he was younger, he was like me too, but he found this relatively young, this ability to embrace it, right? Not to embrace the suck, but also just to embrace life each day, the honor of living each day fully, the ability to recognize that each day, if we just understood, it's not one more day we have, it's one less day. Each day that passes, one less day we have to spending on things that are worthy to us to spend it on. Perhaps it's with your fur babies. Perhaps it's with your friends. Perhaps it's with your family. Perhaps it's doing something you never did before. Perhaps it's healing yourself, or growing, or going outside, even though you hate being outside, because whatever. doing something that's worthy, that you have always wanted to do, or maybe fearful to do for various reasons, that comes back to haunt you day in and day out. Because when we think of it from a one more day basis, it seems like we have plenty, right? We have this plentiful basket that, oh, just one more. Like Oprah, you get one more day. Everybody gets more days, right? Well, it's not like that. Life does not give us more days like that, because our lives are finite. But if we spend it knowing that, not in like a, oh my God, it's one last day, like not in paranoia, but in reverence, like in understanding how precious our time really is, how precious. I think I sounded like Smeagol there for a minute. My precious, right? Like if we spend our days like Smeagol loved the ring, I think we would perhaps do a lot more things that more urgently that are worthy of our time, instead of letting trivial things, and some trivial, some not trivial, letting those things stop us from living. Because if we're constantly anyways, I'm having issues, don't mind me, this is typical. If we're constantly counting down rather than living in the moment, we're living by the clock, which we already are. Why? Dude, the clock is going to keep ticking. Don't worry about it. All right. So let's use this time, instead of focusing on something that's already automatic. It's there. We can't control it. Instead of focusing on time, how many more, how much more, blah, 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 blah. Let's focus on what we want to do, doing something we are passionate about, instead of, I don't know, focus on perhaps, oh, what would this person think of me? Well, what does it matter? It's your time, honey, right? And also, I do have to share, like, for military personnel, me, I'm the 15 minutes before the 15 minutes before the 15 minutes kind of person. And it doesn't matter. It wasn't because of formations that did it to me. I was always sort of the early person anyways. I was taught that. But the military certainly did that for me. Like, if I'm 15 minutes early, I am late kind of thing, right? And there's that's a double-edged sword in it of itself. But I recently was also thinking, because this is all about time. Better late than never, right? This is the kind of goes into this one more day. It's actually one less day. Well, better late than never. Is that true? Right? Like, oh, I have more time. I'll get to it. No. Perhaps if we think about the loss of time, and everything has an expiration date, right? So it's not better late than never, because sometimes late is never. And it's also not about, here's the second half, never late is better. It's also not about that either, because for me, I'm constantly thinking, I got to get this done ahead of time. I got to get there ahead of time, which is good, right? Because I personally, how I feel about time is because it's a resource we all have that we can never get back. If you're willing to give me your time, if what I'm doing is about you, somebody, whoever, sharing their limited finite resource with me, I will never abuse that. I will never disrespect it. I will show up early just because I know the value of time that you're sharing with me. Of course, there are other people that feel differently, but I think there's a level of disrespect that comes with that when you don't value other people's time. You know, it is what it is. But it's not about that either, because I'm always trying to get ahead. I'm always speeding towards the next thing I need to do and getting it done ahead of time. This is also the double-edged sword, right? Sure, when it comes to um, respecting other people's time, I'm really good about that. I think, yeah, I think it's good. But for me personally, I'm constantly speeding to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, right? What am I rushing towards? I think I mentioned this before, this concept, like I'm rushing towards the end. Like I'm not spending time living in the moment, always trying to get ahead. But what am I heading towards? What am I rushing towards? Right? What is the end result? Because this is a hamster wheel. Life is sort of like the merry-go-round. Yeah, you get one thing done ahead of time, there's the next, and then there's the next, and then there's the next. If for somebody like me who's always speeding to the next to get it done ahead of time, there's always going to be a next thing, the next time, the next time, the next time. And meanwhile, I live between the two, the sort of the push and pull effect, like one more day, how many more days, oh god, I have to get this done soon, so to the next thing. So it's like this wild swing of between two extremes, never finding the balance, like the rest, the moment where, yeah, I am rushing to get to the next, like to go meet somebody. But in the moment, what am I feeling? Um, am I missing the smell of spring in the air? Am I forgetting that, oh, last year it didn't feel like this, or whatever? It's because that thought of, oh god, I have to endure it one more day, or rushing to the next, right? We're not actually cognizant of what time really is, how we are actually spending our time. Perhaps it's a comfort zone sometimes, because I think I do it because um, if I actually was in the moment, living in the moment, instead of one more day or one day less, I'm just here. I'm here right now doing what I'm doing, and time time's counting down, and it doesn't really matter. I shouldn't have to worry about it. And I wonder what I would notice if I was here right now, present in the moment. Like I am present in the moment right now. I realize the countdown clock, and it's reminding me how long I've recorded. I realize that right now all I want to do is scratch my face off because it's itchy and scratchy show season, right? Because I have really bad allergies. In fact, I was sneezing my head off right before recording, and I had to take a antihistamine, stuff like that. Like, and I realized that I just got new glasses, but I can't focus very well, right? This is all in the moment as I'm talking to you and processing all this. I wouldn't suggest going this neurotic. You're like, oh my god, everything. But I do believe that if I just stopped and slowed down instead of counting down the clock, either one day more, one day less, or whatever, better late than never, or never late is better, and just being here, I would probably find a lot more things to be joyful about. Just to perhaps to take a breath and slow down enough where time is time, time's relative. Whatever it is that I'm here for now. And I guess this is what I'm here for right now. And I do believe this is worthy of doing, right? And finding things like that, finding big things, small things, um, finding that like I didn't stop to think, to remember the moment that I'm like, oh, one more day is actually one day less. I didn't mark that moment because I was like, oh my God, oh, because I was so busy in my head, right? Like, oh, wow, that's an immense moment for me. It doesn't have to be for you, but it was for me to realize this and to stop and remember, mark the moment. Like, what was I doing? Oh, you should, wow, that was a benchmark, right? Uh, I didn't stop to do that because I was still counting down to either now I was like, oh, gracious, it's one less day to do whatever, right? And then now my mind was filled with, oh, what should I do? All this stuff. So I bring this up not to add another existential crisis onto our list of existential crises that we experience, but in a way as to share, yeah, our lives are finite, and each day that we live is one less day. But we need not rest in this sort of always having this sort of something pressure held over us, realizing that time is precious, realizing that how we spend each day is how we live our lives, right? There's always something you're going to be waiting for or waiting for to pass. That's just part of life. But to be here, to know we can spend our time knowing this, the pricelessness of the time that we do have, doing something worthy of what you think or what I think is worthy of us doing. And perhaps I like to think that it will add joy, more flavor. Even if you're doing, oh God, if I run on this wheel one more time, like the hamster, right? But each step you take is different. Just because it looked the same, each step you take is different. Each situation is different. Each day is different. Even if you have to do the SSDD, the same-ish, different day kind of thing. But it is not. They're all different. They have their nuances. Maybe like, oh, every day I go and walk my puppy, and same time this old dude or whoever walking their puppy, and they always say hi. And they give you a smile, but their smiles are different, right? Maybe their puppy's different. Just to take it all in. Not in a paranoid way, not in the like neurotic way, but just to take it all in fully and use the time that we have to live in your allergies, in my allergies, to live not sleeping and being neurotic. That's always going to be me, right? Instead of wanting it to be over, maybe I'll learn to enjoy my neuroticism. Whatever. So maybe you can find humor in your crazy life, and to find some joy, some little bit of happiness if you haven't had the happiest of lives. So I don't know, this is not an existential thing, but it is sort of like when I say these things, I've said it before, I share these things mostly, I want to help, but a lot of it is to help myself too, because I'm here thinking about this stuff and sort of wasting my time on time, thinking about time and wasting time on the more or less of it, the need to hurry or not hurry. And it's just, instead of just spending it and feeling it and being here. So go and don't worry about time. It's there. It's passing. Okay. It's not like Interstellar where I think one planet is like 1 hour there, 7 hours on Earth or something like that, or 7 hours, 7 years, whatever it was. But I found that really funny when I was writing my dissertation, because it seemed like it dragged on forever. But yeah, it's not like that. Each of our days, we all have the same amount of minutes, the seconds, minutes, hours in each day. And I hope that instead of worrying about it, know that it is precious and go and spend it doing something. Laugh, listen to music that people poke fun at you for listening to. I don't know, go walk down the street, do whatever, just that brings joy, that's beneficial. Let's not, don't, oh, she said to do whatever, I'm gonna do this. I'm saying let's do something that's beneficial to us and to others, or at least that won't impact others negatively, right? Go do something. Talk to God. I do all the time. Sometimes I feel bad. This is the stuff that comes out of my head. So I don't know. Is this an Generation X thing? Or I don't think we're the only people that think about this. Although, I don't know, maybe generations before us have also thought the same thing and didn't bother to share. But I did want to share this. Life is precious. It's finite. Don't get too wrapped around how many more days and how many less days. Just live today, live the second, live knowing you're alive and finding the little things that brings you joy. I'm trying. I know I make a lot of suggestions. Man, I have a lot to do, but that's okay, because I think that's worthy of the time I still have left. So in any case, I pray for you guys all the time. And I do think about you guys all the time. And I try to talk about things that perhaps it is my hope that would help somebody, anybody. Maybe it's just me. So, well, that's it for this week. That's my 2 cents for this week. Until 2 weeks from today, I hope you guys are having a great day and go enjoy life. Forget about this, right? Live in the moment, right? Okay. Have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.